Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am, as always, Darth Devious, bringing you another video review, and here we have something I brought back from Decepticon all the way in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's Alternity Starscream. Alternity Starscream. These Alternity figures, I have... He's my fourth one. I have Optimus, the red version, I have the black version of Megatron, and I have Bumblebee. If you guys want to see the reviews of those other three, let me know. I still got the packaging for them. I kept it because it's pretty cool. And they're all just sitting in my closet right now in their car modes. So let me know if you want to see more of these. But here he is. He's a, let me see if I can pronounce this right, Mitsuoka Orochi. That's the kind of car he is. Alright, they say so. They say he's a white car. He actually is a pearlescent paint job. They did all three Seekers from this mold. Skywarp and Thundercracker have different heads, and each one had a unique paint job. Starscream's is the pearlescent white. I think Thundercracker was the very metallic blue, and Skywarp was just a very high gloss purplish black. It was really... I'd like to get Skywarp and Thundercracker if I can find them for around the same price I paid for him. We'll see what happens. On the back here, I can't read any of this, but it shows you some of the features. The doors open, the hood opens, his face, how he transforms, you know, things like that. There is a storyline with these. It's all in Japanese, so I'm not going to be able to read that. In the bottom, there's more stuff that you can't read because it's all in Japanese and stuff. Transformers official mobile site. Go to transform. Alright. No, there's no Sad Pac-Man on here. I guess that's before they started putting Sad Pac-Man on the bottom. Alrighty, I'm going to get him out. Give me a second, and we'll take a better look at the car mode. Be right back. Alright, and here's Starscream out of his package. And you can see he rolls real nice as a car. Rubber tires. It's something you don't really see much anymore, except on special figures. These are rubber tires. See, I can pull it and move it. Really nice. Mitsuoko on the back. Now, I'm going to zoom in here. I thought that was like a scratch in the paint or something like that, but that's actually supposed to be the Orochi logo, I guess. Yeah. It's on both sides. And see, yeah, his doors do open. They don't open the easiest, but they do open. He has seats in there. On the other side, because it's a Japanese car, the steering wheel is on that side, so you can see. And it spins. And basically the seats are his arms in robot mode. So, some nice tail lights. There's little red spots in the center, but they're clear, so that's pretty cool. It's got the little Orochi logo right there on the back end. You can see it there. And the tailpipes are painted silver. The one tailpipe likes to pop off on this. It's just loose. Front end is pretty wicked looking. I mean, it's just... It looks like cat's eyes on the headlights there. It's pretty cool. The hood opens. There's not really much to see. It's basically there's Starscream's head under there. The trunk opens. Again, there's not really much to see, because these actually open more for transformation than anything else. And his feet are back there. That's probably where the engine is on this car, given the vents on the top. It's probably a rear engine vehicle. I don't know anything about a Mitsuoko Orochi. There's some nice silver paint on the vents. Silver paint on the rear view mirrors, if you can see it right in there. And some more silver paint here, but it's this pearlescent paint on it. I know it's hard for the camera to pick pearlescent paint up, but basically it's this white with a lot of little tiny metallic reflective bits in it that, depending on how the light hits it, you get like a slight shimmering rainbow effect. It sometimes doesn't work very well, and sometimes it does. There's a few places where it's not really as prevalent as it is elsewhere, but what can you do? He does have the brake discs molded in there. This one's black, this one's white. It's a nice touch, nice rims on there, really nicely done. On the bottom you get, you know, your kibble, and there's his chest, there's his arms. He does have his null rays. Now you can give him a flying car mode a la Tracks if you want. You gotta pull these up and flip these out, which is actually part of transformation, but you can give him a flying car mode of sorts. If you can get him to cooperate. It's not the best, and it kind of starts to transform him some, but you get the idea. Flying car. Trax pulls it off better, I'm sorry. But still, this is a really cool... Now, there is some die cast on him. The door frames are all die cast, but that actually is a hindrance, because in his robot mode, those are like his hip guards, because these guys are all similar to like samurais, especially Megatron and Starscream. They have like samurai-esque aspects to them, and yeah, it's just, they don't hold on very well. I'm not going to show off the transformation. These figures are, you need to really be an adult to use these. You got to be very careful when you transform them. Pieces, you don't want to break them, basically. They're expensive. They're not your typical Transformers. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put him in robot mode. We'll take a look at his robot mode, because I do have a few minor complaints about his robot mode. Car mode is fantastic. I love the car mode. Robot mode, there's a few things to talk about. So, I'll be right back. Alright? Alrighty, and here we have Alternity Starscream in his robot mode. And it's not a bad version of Starscream. There's some things going on here that I know they were trying to do. Some of them work, some of them don't. It is what it is. One of my biggest complaints is how these wheels and wings plug into his knees. Because these are his knees, these metal, this is all metal here, it's die cast. And these are supposed to peg in and lock this blue part in place so that the knee can actually function, and they don't really do that. They don't really lock in too well. Also, his hip joints are on some of the toughest ratchets I have ever seen. It's really hard to get him into a pose. Let's see if I can move it. Just hear that? It's just a very, very tough ratchet joint. I mean, it's great because it holds him in whatever pose you put him in, but man, does that, whew. Yeah, you know what I mean. And I know it's hard to see a white figure on a white background. I'm sorry about that, but hey, works for other people. Not mentioning names. And he's got pretty much all the jointing you could want, but there are places where he just doesn't hold together solid enough, and things start to pop when you move him. You can move the null rays up and down. He's got a nice ball joint at his wrist that, you know, gives him more than it goes back and forth, up and down a little bit, and it rotates nicely here, and then up here he has another rotation, and the shoulders on a ball joint. So you get a nice amount of rotation in the arms and movement in the arms. So you can do a lot of cool poses. The legs, he has all the joints you want. They're very stiff. They're very hard to move. The wheels pop off or pop out of their location here. every time you move him, because there's, like I said, this whole assembly here is very stiff. Very stiff. Great for posing, but not much else. Because of his design, the one Decepticon symbol he has gets kind of lost in his abdomen somewhat. Still, he has some great feet, though. Look at these feet. Really nicely done. And they have joints where they can go forward and back, mainly for transformation, and then they're on ball joints to top that off. So, and they're very large and very stable. So, he can hold poses really well once you get him there. Getting him into a pose is kind of tough. Now, if you see here, the entire roof section and hood and trunk section of the car goes across his back like this, and it's supposed to simulate the Seeker wings. It works somewhat. You know, just like, you know, here's the front end of the car, and it's supposed to simulate the things on the side of his head. It's interesting that you make a Seeker in the Alternity line and he's a car. He's probably unique amongst Starscream figures just for that aspect. For the Seeker mold actually being a car, but yet you still have that classic Seeker look, the lines in robot mode. You know, the wings on the back, the shoulder bits, the null rays. It works. His head is on a nice ball joint. Really nice. He can just get really great poses with his head and some emotive looks. I'm going to zoom in on his face in a second because he has double eyes. And that is actually in his instructions when you get the story. It's in Japanese. But there are a few English pieces, and the double eyes is part of it. He's the only one with the double eyes. I know Thundercracker and Skywarp do not have that. So we can zoom in here. You can see here his double eyes. They are nicely light piped. I'll give him that. Really nice. There's not much else detail wise on his face though. It's there, but with his face painted white, it's kind of hard to pick out some of the detail. It's still nice. It's definitely a Starscream Seeker head. You know, you got the vents on the side. Yeah, red eyes. Yeah, it works for being Starscream. It's just a weird take on the Seeker mold, or the Seekers to begin with, being a car. But that's the Alternity line. Megatron's a car as well. And he actually works a little bit better in robot mode. Yeah. So, yeah, here we go. This is, you know, Alternity Starscream. Like I said, there's a lot of decent amount of die cast on here. I said door frames here that become his like hip armor. They're die cast. These knee pieces are die cast. There's other die cast in here. You can feel it because it's cold. Like the front end here of the car has some die cast in it. Things like that. His feet, I think his feet are die cast. I could be wrong. No, they're plastic. Okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. I admit it. But there still is other die cast on him. So he's very heavy. He's a hefty figure. I'm just glad I finally got him. Because when Alternity figures first come out, they're kind of expensive. And I passed on him because, you know, I was out of work. I didn't have the money for it. So I got him now. Now if I can just track down Thundercracker and Skywarp, I'll have all my Alternity Seekers. I know. I'm crazy like that. I gotta have all three of the Seekers. And it's hard. Because sometimes they make one of them an exclusive to one place or to another. Alright guys, I'm rambling now. Like I said, if you guys want to see more of these Alternity figures, I do have 3 others that I can show off. So I can do that. The others I like a lot more. As far as, you know, I don't have as many issues. As big of a Starscream fan as I am, I have a few issues with him just from his design. But still, it's a really cool figure. And for a collector, I would recommend it. For a kid who plays with toys, I wouldn't. But for a collector, you might want this, especially if you're a fan of Starscream. Alright, guys? So all you guys be good. I'll talk to you next time.